Thanks for taking the time to take a quick look at Teamcenter, change management made easy. Over the next 10 minutes, you're going to see how change management in Teamcenter automatically determines the data impacted by the change and automatically summarizes and documents the change for you, leading you to reduce delays and improve quality throughout your enterprise. Let's take a look.
So in this example, here's what a change looks like. Let's get this started. And so you have different information you can come through and collect. More of the affected items page. Here's where we can come through and collect. There's those kind of folders, if you will, problem items, impacted items, and solution items. And so now the purpose of this change here is to replace the 18-volt motor with a brushless motor. And right now we've identified this motor. Well, that's the problem. That's the thing that we want to replace. And so now we have to determine the impact. Well, where is this motor used? What's all the data that might need to be updated based upon this particular motor? Well, in the past, like I mentioned, you got to go to different screens and look for this and traverse relationships. Now what you can do is just go to impact analysis. And what that'll do is for all the problem items, it'll give you the impact candidates for that particular problem item. And in this example, it's saying, well, here's all the bill of materials that this is used in. Here's some mechanical bill of materials. Here's maybe a manufacturing operation that it's used in. Here's all the bombs of some sort that it's used in. And so now you, as the person doing the investigation, can come through and make your decision as far as what's impacted. You can very easily add it to that impacted data inside your change. But as I mentioned earlier, it's not just about bill of materials, because there could be related data to that. So there could be data that's related to that motor, or there could be data related to that bomb that may also need to be updated or could be impacted by this change. So we show you that as well. So in this example here, when you expand that bill of material, here's some related data. And so there's a document, there's a manufacturing process, there's some requirements. And you can very easily use that as an understanding, well, these could be impacted by it as well. And once again, you can very easily either use a drag and drop or a click of a button to add to the impacted items, add that to your change. All right. So now, although the problem item dropped off on the screen just because of the video here resolution. So we had our problem item was that DC motor. Here's all the data that's impacted by it. The bomb that it's used in, maybe this document needs to be updated, the bill of process needs to be updated, some requirements may need to maybe make sure that we still validate those requirements. Well, now one of the next things would be to actually go through and solve this change. And here's where you'd use your workflow process and it'd go around to that cross-functional team. Because it's not necessarily one person that's able to update all this information. Maybe you can update the bill of material, but somebody else has to update the document. And maybe the manufacturing group needs to update the bill of process. Maybe the quality group or some other group needs to update the requirements. So this is where a cross-functional team would take place as far as that workflow is concerned to notify those people, hey, here's a change that we're looking at, go update this particular information. So like I said, we cut some of the sequences out for this. All right, so in this example, let's say you're the engineer who needs to update this particular bill of material. So you would have a workflow task. You'd be able to come into this change, see this exact information on the screen, understand the problem, understand the impact, and you can begin resolving this change. So in this example, you're going to make a new revision of the bomb because that previous one obviously was released. You can't update it. And now you can come through and use Teamcenter to come through and make those updates. And as these updates are taking place, and actually I'll hold off on saying that just for now. So in this example, you're going to take that motor and replace it with a brushless motor. You're going to go through and remove a part so you don't need the spacer ring anymore now that you have this new motor. So come through and make a bill of material edit to remove that. And so as you're doing this, I mentioned about the active change. So since you did this work directly from the change, Teamcenter knows, hey, you are working on that particular change with this particular bomb. So as you're doing these bill of material edits, it's tracking that information. It knows what new parts did you create, what things did you revise, what quantities did you update, what parts did you remove. Teamcenter is tracking all that information for you. So now that you've made those particular updates, when you come back to your change, it automatically populated the solution items with that new revision of the bill of material and that motor that you created. So you don't have to go through and update or to try to figure out, well, what is it that I did? Let me make sure I document it all. So that way somebody who's going to come in and review this can understand exactly what was done for this particular change. Now, it's not just capturing the solution items. But that view, that change summary, because you told Teamcenter here, this is the active change that I'm working on, it'll automatically track and capture all those updates that you did in this nice, easy to review. So anybody who's coming in to review this, whether it's as part of the change review board or maybe even 3 years from now, somebody wants to come and look at this and say, well, what do we do with this change? Why do we do this? What's going on? They'll know exactly what was done. Okay, so we revised the bond from B to C, changed the lithium grease from 25 to 28 grams, removed the nylon spacer, and replaced the DC motor with a brushless motor. Easy to read table, everybody can understand exactly what was done with that. And that's part of that active change process that we have. You told Teamcenter there's the active change you're working on. Teamcenter tracked all that information, automatically documented the change for you. Let's look at another example. So that change that you just saw performed was performed inside Teamcenter, and that was just using a web browser. It could have been a phone or a tablet, just some sort of web browser. Fire it up, log in, open up your workflow task, participate in the change, sign off on it. Well, what about if there's CAD information? What if there's electrical information or even software information? Well, we bring Teamcenter inside other applications. So we have MCAD integrations for all the major MCAD tools, NX, Solid Edge, SolidWorks, CATIA, Inventor, Creo. I'm probably missing a couple as well. I think I said CATIA, if not CATIA. And so we can bring Teamcenter right inside that application. And those same change capabilities that I saw work across all our MCAD integrations. So all that change tracking, that change summary, you go do your change inside the CAD tool, works the same exact way. You'll get the same exact results that you saw in the previous video. Now, once again, we're not going to watch a full change process, so I'm just going to show you a couple highlights here. So in this example, you're a CAD user, and it just so happens you're an NX user in this video. NX is a pretty good CAD system, if you've not heard of it, Solid Edge as well. And so you've been assigned a task. You've been assigned a workflow task, so right from inside the CAD system without leaving it, you have access to Teamcenter, and you have access to your inbox. And so in this example, you're going to go through and access your inbox and understand the tasks that you have to perform. And so in this example here, it's replacing a heat sink and updating the PCB. And somebody's attached a nice graphical markup so you can understand what's going on with it. You can see the overall state that the change is in. And you've got a brief description of what exactly needs to be updated. And as you interact with that change, when you come over to the affected items, here is the data that's involved in change. It looks like that just blurred out a little bit. See if I can advance that. All right, it looks like the video blurred out. I don't know if that's my screen or your screen, or everybody's screen, I should say. All right, so you can see here, here's the problem item. It looks like it's a heat sink, a couple of electrical components. And what's impacted by those is, well, this PCB, so the PC board, the overall hand drill, and some wiring. So because of those three problem items, here's the impact across the organization for what needs to be done. And so from a CAD standpoint, you could open up the hand drill and maybe move that PCB, or not the PCB around, move that to heat sink around, or replace the heat sink, which is what the change is calling for. And so you'd see the same steps in the previous video. You'd just be doing those inside change, or inside NX as well. What about from an electrical standpoint? Same kind of thing. Bring Teamcenter inside a Mentor. So in this case, it's Expedition. And so same type of thing. Now you're a PC designer, a PC board designer. You're going to come through, open up your workflow, or open up your inbox. So you have a change to perform. In this case, it's to do the electrical updates. And it's the same exact change. So from an ECAD standpoint, you got to move a couple of components around due to clearance on that new heatsink. And so you have access to all the information that you need. Right from here, you can come through and open up the data, come through and make the necessary changes, and come through and sign off on it. So we're bringing Teamcenter, we're bringing PLMs inside the authoring applications that you use, not only for change management, but also for your day-to-day PLM tasks, searching for data, viewing data, creating changes, signing off on workflow tasks, and so on and so forth.
Thanks again for watching. You just saw how Teamcenter Change Management helps you determine the change impacts and documents and summarizes the change for you, which reduces delays and improves quality throughout your enterprise. See more at siemens.com/impact of PLM.